Hello, hello, hello. This is Bill on 999 Show. Talk to me. And this is the second time we are doing this. And soon, um, if you want, you'll be able to call in. I just have to get that phone number active, but it'll be for people 18 and over. I do not want uh, young young people calling in. No trolls and people being respectful. But anyways, I was kind of thinking this evening about the appearance of evil. And what prompted this conversation is people who are using SNAP benefits and the perception that if a person is using SNAP benefits, that they do not deserve them if they drive a nice car or have wear nice clothes or whatnot. And that got me thinking about something in the Bible about avoiding the appearance of evil. That's not only like in the King James version. I was looking it up. It's like I think Paul has talked about it. I thought it's in Saint in Thessalonians and anyways is it about being good to one another and so forth, that the discussion, but avoid the appearance of evil because you have there's these perceptions of things. But we want to kind of talk a little bit about perception and how dependent upon perception we are in our society. So, for instance, I have gray hair. Most of my hair is gray. I am over the age of 50. I am almost 60. And I am unemployable. People over the age of 50, if they have gray hair, they appear to be mature or like a grandfatherly type of person or a grandmother type person. And many jobs and many employers will not hire a person that has gray hair. And so women especially have to color their hair. They have to keep up the appearances of youth and beauty. And in order to gain employment, you can't gain employment in this system unless you appear youthful and beautiful and not appear motherly or appear like a grandmother. So a woman over the age of 50, 60 with gray hair is almost impossible to get a job in this society. There are plenty of jobs, they say, but there are not plenty of jobs for people who do not appear youthful. So this is an appearance thing. The perception amongst folks is that, well, we want young people. We want people who are going to be here for 20, 30 years. They're going to be here for a while. And a person with gray hair doesn't fit that perception. I was reading a story. Maybe I was watching on TikTok. I don't know where I saw it at, but it was a woman who she didn't color her hair. She actually turned gray when she was 18 years old. And I have a friend who went gray at 18 years old, and she never colored her hair. She was kind of like Steve Martin. By the time she was 30, it was salt and pepper white, and she never colored her hair. But she did very well in her job as a. Okay, here's what you do. Here's what you do, Maria. Go like the video, and then go into your liked videos and access this show and click on that link that I have pinned on the top. And so, anyways, the perception of Now, in the sense of the perception of evil, the perception of abuse is that if you have a hard on your luck, and you are but you are keeping up your appearances because you want to be employed, you want to be employable, you have to keep up these appearances of youth and beauty. If you are a salesperson, you have to keep up these appearances of success, the appearances of success in order to stay employable, in order to get a sale, to do these things, the appearances of success. So you may need to drive a BMW to appear successful, have the right kind of handbags, have the right kind of clothes to appear successful. And so but you know, this is, and that is to work in this system. To work in this system, if you are in sales, you need to appear as though you are a successful person. I've known people who have bought BMWs used, and then when they fire those things up, they sound like diesel engines. They sound like an old tractor. But it looks new, it looks nice, it looks new. It's apparent. It has the appearance of being like, oh, this person has money because they have it. They have this stuff. They have all that they need, and therefore we want this person and to work for us, or we will buy that product from them because they are successful. And if they look successful, then this product must be a good product. These are the appearances, these masks and these appearances that we put forth into the world in order to exist in this world, to be able to thrive in this world, because sometimes we have to lie. And the appearance of success is essentially putting on a mask, a story that you are worthy, to function in this world. It's an appearance. Now, on similarly, so if one of these people who is into this realm of putting on, and I have a taker here. Wait, where did she go? Where did she go? Oh, there she is. And there you go. And wait, what just happened here? Let's do something here. I have a person coming in. I'm going to do cropped layout. That way it works better. And now, where did she go? Okay, add to the stage. And I have my guest who just popped in. This is Maria, and nice to meet you, Maria.
Hey.
And hi. So you can, I think, turn the camera off if you want to turn the camera off. I've been on this. Hold on here.
Hello, Moto.
I have a person calling in too. Okay. So let me put it on speaker here. So I get a phone call. Hello?
Hello.
Can you hear my guest on the phone as well? Maria?
Hello?
Can anyone hear me?
Maria, can you hear the person?
Yeah.
Can you hear the other person? Okay. All right. So this is my sister. She's calling in, and we're testing this out. So now we have a person that I have coming in here to talk to me, and I have another individual talking to me. My sister testing out how the call in thing is, and so I want to know, Maria, do you have any personal experience with what I was kind of talking about, or the having to put on a perception of being?
I don't know what you were talking about.
Okay, what I was talking about was how to function in this society, especially for women, that they have to keep their hair colored, they can't let their hair go gray, and especially if you're working in sales, my sister is a salesperson, and you have to keep up this perception of beauty in order to be to function in our employment world.
Never heard of that.
I agree. To be viable. I hope I didn't butt in.
Okay, hold on a second. So you've never heard of that then before?
Nope.
Oh, that's what. Now, but what is Anne? Why don't you do you have a point to want to add to it?
I do, because I've worked in the business world since I was in my 20s, and I found out very early that having, not just being smart, it was important to be smart, but to have a youthful, vibrant look was very important. And that can be, very costly, to keep things up, like you said, your hair, your nails, all of these things that go along, and your clothing. I spent a lot of time at the thrift stores trying to find, clothes that would go, and doing trades with people for things like nails or hair.
Yeah.
And to keep things up.
Or like your
true.
or like your daughter who spent $5,000 on hair extensions.
Oh, absolutely.
For her sales job. Yeah.
And she also has to go in and do the Botox. I mean, she's so young, you wouldn't think that would be necessary. But in her line of work, she's just scrutinized.
Yeah, because she has a sales area of half the United States, and is constantly. I think it's like everything like west of the Rockies. Is that what it is?
Oh, at L.A.
So it's like L.A. and then Alaska. But yeah, so you have all these appearances, and you have to spend a lot of money to appear as though you are successful. And then so there was a conversation I had with someone and who was talking about people on SNAP benefits who appear like they're wealthy, and that so this person who appears like they're wealthy is like they don't deserve to be on SNAP benefits because of those appearances.
I disagree.
I know because but that's what the perception is, that if a person is using SNAP and they have this facade that they built upon themselves, then they are part of the waste, fraud, and abuse, and therefore should not be using these benefits, even if it's for a short time. And
well, that's the reason for those benefits.
They are for the
look, it is a short time, as I understand, like 6 months. So say you lose your job, and then it gives you a little upper time, say while you're in unemployment, looking for another job. But if somebody's already used to keeping their appearance up, there's no reason to let it go just to try to be on SNAP benefits.
Yeah.
As I would think, But, and the other thing, too, is there's also kind of a prejudice, or the way people look at somebody that they walk in and they might be clean and nicely dressed. Well, they don't know how they got those, saved for those clothing and so forth. I myself purchased almost everything used, and one reason is because I love vintage. I like to reuse items. I love a great deal. If I can find a sports coat for $5, I think and bring it home and clean it up and put a few stitches in it. It's great, but that doesn't mean that I wouldn't be deserving of SNAP benefits.
Yeah,
I think we have to look at things like that.
Yeah. But I think that look, Maria has her little cat out there too. So
yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so awesome.
Yeah.
But this is something, and it's really real out there. And it's also hard. I mean, I have 4 girls, and they all find that it is very challenging to keep a job without grooming and so forth. Even my daughter number 3, who was never did have her hair done, I mean, just the regular haircut. But then when she became a like a director over, say, like 60 cardiac clinics, okay, so high up in the health field, she now had to color her hair, wear certain suits, and it was just the way it is.
Yeah, so you have to in order to maintain your job, you have to spend a lot of money.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think there's, they say there's even differences between men and women. They've done, I think like some of the morning TV shows, like one of the anchors like would wear the same suit every day, but a wowoman is having to change.
Hold on a second. So, Maria, did you have anything you want to say, or were we just listening?
I was asking, was my heater too loud?
I hear a little bit of noise. There's a little bit of noise back there, but it's fine. So I just want to make sure that people can hear through the speaker phone and all that. But
Yeah, I was making sure it wasn't a problem too. Sorry for the interruption.
So then, okay, I hope that it's working. We'll figure it out when I watch this on the replay. But anyways, yeah. Anyway, so that was just like one of the things that I do hear a little bit of some noise in the background, Maria, but that was just like one of the things that I was thinking about today, in these whole perceptions that people have. But the thing is, with these perceptions, a lot of people, they just don't have. Well, we all do that. We make judgments based upon how we perceive things.
Correct. And as we grow as a human, our perceptions change because our experiences change.
Yeah.
All we know is what we know. Okay.
Yeah.
That's all we know. And then to know more, we have to open up our field of knowledge and of experiences.
Because a lot of young people, they make a whole bunch of assumptions that aren't really based in reality.
Correct.
And that's the thing is not until let's say you've been self-employed or something like that, or you've had a business failure or something, or that behind your belt, can you really notice that, or how hard it is to reacquire employment if you've crossed over 50.
Oh, I agree, and all of those things you've talked about. I have experienced.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've experienced, being able to start businesses. Even longevity of 15 years, which is pretty good for any business. But I've also had business failure.
Yeah.
And really a failure sometimes is not a failure. You have to look at it that
way.
That's
true, because
experience.
But yeah, it's just that a business ended and so forth. But anyways, so yeah, it's like when we are young, when we are young, we look at the world through child eyes, and then as we grow up, we look at the world through the eyes of an adult. But sometimes people never really gain that perspective of an adult's eyes, especially if you've never gone out on a limb and tried something for yourself, and tried to forge your own life in this, whatever. I'm not, it's like, but a lot of people there, you have, I don't know if any of this makes any sense out there, but do you have it? What kind of experiences do you have, Maria?
Like, what do you want to know? Like,
well, as far as as you've operated in the world of employment. Okay, all right, that's fine. You don't really
Okay,
want to go
yeah.
there. Yeah,
Give that to
yeah,
something else.
yeah, yeah. Anyways, that's but that was kind of just kind of a thought I had today. But another thought that I had, and I'm just gonna put this down. I gotta figure out how to do this so I don't have to hold the thing up on speakerphone there. Oh, there we go. We'll just put it like that. And yeah, so this is like I'm trying here my new things here, Maria. So as having this option here, so you can beam in via the StreamYard or to beam in over a telephone, just to kind of hang out or talk or anything like that. And so did you have any questions or anything for me that?
No, but I
No.
think
All
this
right.
is cool though.
What was that?
I said I think this is cool though.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's good. Good. All right. All right. So, anyways, that was kind of the thought I had, and my sister has a lot of experiences with keeping up appearances. Now, me, I've actually never, outside of wearing this hat, I don't really haven't worried much about my appearances. You know, I let my hair is gray,
I don't
and
care about my appearances much either. Not
yeah,
as much as I used to,
yeah,
but
Don't you
I
think there's
don't
a
care
gender
about it
difference
anymore.
as well? You know, sometimes like with men and women in terms of jobs, of appearances. Because remember, I was in business with our dad, and I love the fact that he didn't really care about the appearance. You know, he did because dad was such a free spirit, not just
that's right.
made him who he was. But
That
he had no problem buying my mom a pair of high heels or something special, and he actually enjoyed that.
yeah,
And
and so it's the whole thing of
yeah,
like the differences in the work world between male and female, and that there's different expectations on women that there is on men for when it comes to your outward appearance, and that's kind of what the question is, and if you have any thoughts on that.
I
No
did,
thoughts?
but it went away.
no, I mean
Oh,
I
okay.
do.
Yeah. Hold on. So Maria had some thoughts on that, but she lost her train of thought. And
Go ahead and talk, Maria.
yeah, no talk. Okay. Okay. All right.
I'm
Anyways,
not saying it's the right way to go. I'm just saying it's the way that I
Oh,
feel I had to be in order
hold
to
on.
maintain my job.
Hold on, Ann. Okay, what's
your
your thoughts?
parents is your first interest.
The parents are still
So it's
the
their parents is so it's the
yeah.
first interest.
So there for the first thing that people see is they see you and they make all the judgments about whether they want to bring you into the system or not based upon what they see. And then they have to talk to you to see if you, and so that's like in an interview situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what have you done as far as when you were employed? Did you say that you did healthcare or
I have not worked in like about 20 years, maybe.
okay? Oh, you've been out of work for 20 years, so you're kind of
Yeah.
way you're way out of the loop. Yeah. So
Yeah,
where
since
you
like
at is that
2008.
so you're kind of into that realm of where you become unemployable, or it would take a lot of work in order to, you know, meet any kind of like requirements
Yeah.
of that. Yeah. I get you. I get you. Yeah. So like the other thing that is that is very difficult and is it's difficult for self-employed people when they become unemployed because you have no verifiable work history. And so that's a well, because if you are let's say you go to the employment department and you go apply for unemployment, you can't self-supervise. So you can't be your own supervisor. And when you're interacting with the government, or you're looking for, let's say, unemployment because you may have paid into unemployment for yourself, and you may have paid into all of those benefits for yourself, but when you go to there and you want to see if you can get unemployment, you are denied because you can't verify your work history. So if you'd been self-employed for 30 years, it shows up as though you've never worked for 30 years, even though you have been in business for 30 years and you've been working for 30 years. And so that's the conundrum that people come up to. So like when my father quit his business, he was I think 56 or 57 years of age, and he just went to work as a dishwasher. He got a job as a dishwasher, and though he had been a business owner, and now some of the people in the community scoffed at that he went to work. Oh, did you see so and so? He's like, oh, he's working as a dishwasher at this place. And of course then the person's parents, they were adult parents, and they said, well, you don't, it was matters that was very disrespectful, because this person is working and is not, it being but I don't think that my father could have gotten unemployment after he had quit that business, because he had been employed as a self-employed person from like 1972 to 1996. And though he didn't necessarily need to go back to work, but he did go back to work because it was a matter of he loved to work. But sometimes that's the way it is. And when I worked at that same place, I saw a lot of gray-haired people, and they were coming back into the workforce after having taken care of a parent or whatever. They'd been out of the workforce for 5-10 years. And then when they re-entered the workforce, what they ended up doing was nothing like what they did in their first part of their work career, but they were doing things like pushing a vacuum cleaner around, or washing dishes, or pushing a mop around. And that was kind of what it seems, that when you are over the age of 50, and even though if you've had high level work before, but you were employed, self-employed, there's no way, like I said, there's no way to verify that you ever were employed. And so therefore you may not get work in your same field that you were doing, and instead you'll have to take whatever job that they'll hire you for.
Especially if you're very well respected and known in that field.
Yeah.
And I hate to say that it can be a double-edged sword, because people, well, I could never live up to that. How could I hire her? So it's very difficult if you've been someone in business that started businesses and worked with some of the top businesses, and then the next thing you know, you're no longer in business, and it's not just as easy to go get a job with your peer or your competitor or your ex-competitor down the road.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of times they just don't want to hire you.
Yeah.
Or they think, why should I hire them? They were in business all these years. They don't need to work. But it was like Dad. He wanted to work.
Yeah, he wanted to work.
He loved to work.
That's right. And so he was only like retired a couple of years before he went back to work, and then he died. And
Exactly.
that was the way that was. But let's just switch gears here. Do you have any experiences with any ghost stories, Maria? Do you have any ghost? I know that my sister has ghost stories, but do you have a ghost story that you
I
to
grew
want to
up
tell?
at a haunted house.
You lived in a haunted house?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Why don't you tell about this? I lived in a haunted house too when I was in my 20s, but that'd be kind of fun conversation here and to
Toys
talk
used to
about.
go off by themselves. You could see, sometimes you would see little cars just driving by themselves. Because supposedly there was a ghost of a baby boy, like a 2 or 3 year old, that had died in that house. So then
So I
when we
can't hear
had moved
Maria.
in, you can't hear me?
Oh, let me see if I can punch this.
It's okay. It's just saying.
Oh, that's right, because I don't have my she can't hear you. The reason she can't hear you
She's on the
is
phone.
because I am on this device and I do not have the speaker on. I have a USB mic plugged into the phone. I have the Ethernet plugged into the phone, and she cannot hear you. So she would have to turn on this show in order to hear you. And if you go turn on,
I have it on.
okay, then you may need.
I just don't know what I'm doing wrong. But I didn't want to be disrespectful or anything because I'm trying to speak when there's like maybe a time to. So maybe if you let us kind of know, like when Maria's, you're doing a good job of it.
Well, here's the thing: there's a 5-second delay. There's a 5-second delay between the time that when I say something and you hear it. There, it's on a delay. When it
understood.
Yeah. So when it so I'll tell you, I'm gonna turn you down and your phone volume down, and then that way I don't have to get any weird echoes. And then Maria's gonna tell her story. Okay. All right. Why don't you tell your story about the things that you saw in your experience in the haunted house?
We used to have a lot of things happening to us at that house.
So you saw things move on their own?
Yeah. One time I had seen, like, it was in the mirror. I had seen a little boy. He was wearing like a basketball outfit, a basketball player outfit, like jersey outfit.
Yeah.
But a little boy, like 2 or 3 years old. But then when I turned around and everything, he was gone. There was one there was one time my grandma told me that because she used to sleep in the bedroom in the attic too. She said that you could hear someone walking straight from the stairs all the way to the bedroom door. They turned the doorknob. They never opened the door, nothing, but they just turned the doorknob.
I've heard these stories like that with people before, with doorknobs twisting. So I remember when I lived in this house that had almost the same address as Sherlock Holmes. So like there was the Sherlock Holmes story. Sherlock Holmes, I think it was from the 1800s. He was like 221 Baker Street. That's the Sherlock Holmes. My address was 221 Southeast Baker Street. And this house, I saw this glowing orb of light traveling around the floor of my bedroom. I couldn't sleep in that bedroom because I had terrible nightmares in there, and it was just like I put like all around in that. I was like, this is where I started collecting icons, because I would put these icons up all over the place inside that room in order to fight it, to keep the ghosts out. They didn't like the icons very well. And but yeah, so yeah, my collecting icons happened back living in that ghost house. But yeah, seeing it was just weird, trippy stuff. And so what you saw, like little toys moving on their own?
Yeah, we used to see that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Were there like things moving on the shelves, or you go to look for something and then it's gone?
No.
Okay.
My nephews were small at that time. My nephew Junior was small at that time. So this was about, I would say, like 97, between 96 and 97, we moved in that house.
Mm-hmm.
And things used to just happen in there. One time my grandma had told me, because she used to say that when you see something, start cursing at the ghost or tell them to leave or something, so they could leave you alone. You start cursing at them or something. So
Yeah.
one time she said that she went to the bathroom and I forgot what she said happened to her, and she started cursing at the ghost. And she said the ghost got mad and started throwing the hairspray and everything at her. I was just
Mm-hmm.
laughing at her because she had told me the next day after it happened to her.
So
They hated my family.
I want to ask you a question, Angie.
Mhm.
I mean, Maria, did you have to? You didn't have to get an account in order to log on to StreamYard, did you?
No, I just
Okay,
went in.
you went in just like I said you. So let me just go. I'm going to see if I can get my sister to come up onto the StreamYard. I'm going to turn the volume back up here. So Anne, are you still there?
Yes. Oh yeah.
So,
I'm visiting with a friendly ghost right now.
okay, what I want you to do is I want you to like the video and go into your liked videos and click on the link that's pinned in the top of the chat. Can you do that? And then I'm going to pull you right onto the screen.
Okay, let's see if I can do that. I'm on the YouTube and
So you're watching the video on the YouTube, and then you want to why don't you just
talking on speaker. I'm
okay.
trying to figure out how to man, I'm a technological.
Yeah, and my sister's YouTube challenged, and
I'm a technological idiot, I swear.
Okay.
Okay.
So
something isn't.
So what you're going to do is you're going to hang up. You're going to go into this chat as it is. You're going to come in. You're going to just you can go in and I will guide you once you get there. Just come into the chat and say hello, and then I will guide you into how to access the program.
Okay, so I can go ahead and hang out. And
yeah.
Get into my regular unit. Oh,
all right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. So now we're going to be going on. We're just going to be talking about just some random crap tonight.
I guess.
Yeah, that's it.
My brother could tell you a lot of stories about that house.
So you have a lot of stories. So I'm gonna pull my as soon as she can
Everybody
figure
that
it out.
lived there could tell you stories.
Yeah, you got some stories about the. Yeah.
Yeah, everybody that lived in that house could tell you stories. Sorry, opening a piece of candy.
I see. So you can so you had you had some good. Did you have any scary experiences with the ghosts?
When I seen the baby, the little boy.
You saw a little boy just kind of
Yeah, when
standing there.
I was in the basement that one time. They had sent me to my brother's bedroom to get something in the basement, and I had seen the ghost of a little boy in the mirror. He was wearing the basketball suit jersey.
Yeah.
And then when I turned around, he was just gone.
Well, that's really creepy. Just
That was
there
the
and
first
not
time.
the first time.
The first time I had seen it, the first time. I was the only one that had seen it. Oh no, Junior had seen it. My oldest nephew. He was small at that time too. He used to see ghosts too.
Hmm. Yeah.
My dad passed away after like I think it was the morning when we were getting ready to go for his service. And Junior was in the shower and he was talking to someone in there and he said that it was my dad. He
Hmm.
came, told him to don't be scared, don't worry, because he's not letting us rest. And the other people, and then he changed his attitude and everything after that.
I see. So he was nicer then as a ghost. Changed his attitude. So,
No, my nephew.
oh, your nephew.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because when my dad passed away, he was like in shock and everything. But then he said that when he saw my dad and he was talking to him, he told him to don't be scared, to calm down and everything.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. I saw my dad after he passed away. Um, I was just looking down the hallway, and then he waved at me. I just saw his arm waving at me, and then after my grandma passed away, because she passed away in this house in '93, and my grandmother liked the Virginia Slims, and she was a big smoker, and um, okay, so she has to, yeah. So I got to Angie. I got my sister off the phone, and so I close out all the apps. Well, because really, what you do is you go into the liked video. You like the video, and you go into your liked video uh, 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 sort, and then you push on the link. You go back into this from the liked video thing, and then push the link. And that's what Elizabeth had said. That's how I got onto Elizabeth's show a couple times on one of these things. And so, anyways, so Anne, if you're listening, you need to close out all the other apps, and then you go to a page where you share the link on. Yeah, I actually shared the link. I shared the link with her earlier. Oh, maybe I'll go in and reshare the link now. Maybe that's what I need to do. And yeah.
Yeah,
If
that's
she,
what you have to do because I couldn't get in the link the first two times. It wouldn't let me.
yeah,
It would just let me see it, but I couldn't click on it.
I see. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so she needs a new link. Okay, I will get I will get a new link here. Let's see if I go take this thing and I open it up. What does it do? I better turn the volume down. I'm getting dead air here, so this is 999 show. Talk to me. And I want to hear what you have to say. Copy the link again and send this link here. And there we go. All right. And so, yeah. anyway, so you had these experiences with ghosts, and seen a little boy. So how many ghosts were in this house that you were living in, Maria?
I do not know. I don't know. I cannot tell you.
Mm. So there were a lot of ghosts then.
Mhm.
Hmm. Little
When you
and so
mentioned you had seen someone when they passed away, I was gonna say I used to see my dad a lot too.
your dad,
But m- my my dad,
yeah,
but I haven't seen him in the last few years.
yeah. Well,
Because as far as I know, they're only allowed to come here and see or visit us once in a while as like a reward to them.
I see. Huh. Oh, so they get a reward to come and see, and then yeah, because generally, like the dad came a couple times. The first time he came in and he was like looking in on mom in her bedroom, and then mom says, I really don't want to be haunted, so don't come around too often. And yeah, and so Anne, what you got to do now, you made it here into the chat. What you do is you go like the video, and what you do is you go up to the top corner up there, and there's like 3 little dots up there, and you push those 3 little dots, and there'll be a drop down menu, and up there's an option to like. You like the video, and then you go into your liked videos, and then you come in and you push the link that I have pinned at the tippy top of this of the chat. So we'll see how good my skills of explaining YouTube technology are to YouTube idiots. Yeah. Yeah, they do work right, Angie, because Maria got in. And so I was explaining how to get those links to activate, and that's how you get the links to activate. You have to go do a couple steps, and those steps are just what I said. Because when you just come into this chat, you have to go in, like the video, and you come back, you go all the way out, you go to that. So the like videos are on a little profile on YouTube. Just okay, all right. And so you don't your skills aren't in YouTube yet, but we're gonna get you. We're gonna get you there into YouTube skills, because you're not too young to learn about what YouTube is. And so okay, so you found the like button because it's up here. It's up on your this side. You come up to the top of the screen, and there are these 3 little dots up there. Hit those 3 little dots, and then it'll have a drop down menu that says like, and you push the little button that says like, and then you come all the way out to a different screen, to your home screen, and then you find your liked videos, and you go back into it and push you come back in and you look at the live stream from your liked videos, and then go clear up to the top of the chat thing and hit the link, the hyperlink that is there. Okay, or I will come back here. Oh, I don't think I can do that there. I don't want to. No, I don't want to. I don't want to f things up. Anyway, so you what you did you okay? So you saw some ghosts, which are interesting, and then like my story with when I saw my grandmother, it was right after she passed away, and like a day after she passed away, and she appeared to me as like a ball of light, and this ball of light moved from her purse to this basket on top of the file cabinet where the matches were at, back to her purse because her cigarettes were hanging out of her purse, cigarettes to
Mhm.
the matches, back and forth. It was until it grabbed my attention and oh, that's my grandma. My grandma coming to visit me.
I see myself as an orb before once.
As a
It was like
what?
a dream as an orb. It was like
You saw your
a dream.
you saw yourself as an orb?
Yeah, out of my body.
Oh,
It was more like a dream. It was
yeah.
like I
Hmm.
had gotten out of my own body. Everybody was sleeping and everything. I was
Hmm.
sleeping. I just came out of my own body. It was where I used to live in the south side with my brother. And I had my bed right next to the window at that time. And I just went out the window and I just kept floating out to like towards the stars, out to
Hmm.
space and everything. I just kept floating and floating. And then the next thing I knew, I was wherever my parents are. They were together. They were like in a park. There was a lot of like bushes and trees, grass. It wasn't windy or nothing. There was no wind. It was just normal, warm, really nice, peaceful.
Hmm.
And my dad said to my mother, Mira, mira, pointing at me, but at over there I had appeared as a butterfly or a bee. It was one of
Hmm.
those two. I don't really know. It was either a
Hmm.
butterfly or a bee. And then my mother was saying, Coco, don't do that. And then my mother started saying, Mira, qué bonita. And she was smiling and everything. They were both looking at me. But I didn't know what I was. I was either a butterfly or a bee because I was flying around. And I
Hmm.
had landed on in a big bush and they were both looking at me. And I just got my satisfaction to see that they were both together and I was forced to come back. And I was an orbit girl and I was coming back and I was just coming back slowly. It wasn't like fast or nothing, like a bubble, like when you blow bubbles and you know how they just go slowly. That's how I was going.
Yeah.
Like, and I was like upset because I was forced to come back. And I
Oh.
just came back through my window before I went into my own body. I just sat there, looked at myself like upset, like saying, man. And then, like, when I was ready, I just exhaled. I went back in my own body. I saw nothing but black. And then I woke up and I was breathing again and everything like normal. It was like a
Hmm.
dream.
Wow. Wow. Amazing dream.
Yeah.
Like a
But
little
then no matter
bumblebee.
where, like, no matter, like, if they come here,
Looks like we froze.
they're not allowed to see us.
Hmm.
And like God, no one knows who he is. No one sees him.
Hmm. Can't be seen. It's just there. Well, maybe it's there's a sense of that spirit is just so everywhere. It's everywhere. That and so
Yeah,
you
it's kind
can't.
of like they're like girth.
Yeah. Hmm. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, it's how we perceive things, perception of these things. Huh,
The very
interesting.
last time I had seen my dad, it was when my aunt passed away. He
Yeah.
was the one that had came for her, and I was living with my mom at that time because it was when after I had gotten ill. I was living with my mom, and then when my aunt passed away, she was in the hospital. She had open heart surgery and everything, but I knew she was gonna pass away already because they had came to visit me the night that my dad came to get her. They stopped by my room before they left. And then when they came down,
Hmm.
I usually hear his wings. I could usually hear him. You don't hear his wings flapping or nothing. It sounds like a little motor machine or something, like a bee or something.
Hmm.
And they both came down. My aunt was hanging on to him, and they just came down straight. And they were both happy to see me, and then they just disappeared.
Hmm.
And that was the last time I saw my dad. I haven't seen him ever
Yeah.
since.
Do you dream about him? Does he appear in your dreams?
The only kind of dreams I have with my parents is when they're dying or sick, dying in the hospital. I just
Hmm.
hardly have any good dreams with them.
I see. Yeah,
They're just
I dream about my dad, and he's never really talks to me. He's always like maybe he's in the other room. Maybe I hear him speak, or but then when I'm in the same room with him, he's silent. Or maybe he's driving the car and I'm riding along, just silence.
watching you.
Yeah, that's in the dreams. I mean, I remember he talked about a dream he had before he passed away, and he'd seen his ancestors, and then he followed them out of the house, and then they just disappeared into a fog, into a mist, and it was like his Uncle Helmer, and it was Dad, his his other of his old his uncles and his dad and his grandfather, and they were all there, and then they just disappeared. And then it's like, don't go, don't go, don't go. And he tried to follow him into the fog, but then he was just by himself in the fog, and they were gone. And that was like then it was like a week or two later. Maybe it was probably more like a lot longer ago after that than he got killed in that car accident. But it's kind of that was hard. But yeah.
That's my heater. That's a problem.
Oh, okay. It is kind of loud. It's kind of loud. Yeah. Yeah. I don't think that my sister is going to be able to figure this one out. I'm
Oh,
going to have
I
to
forgot.
actually. I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to talk to her in person and to actually show her and hold hands on how to do this. But anyways, yeah,
I'm lucky
yeah.
I got it without getting mad.
Oh, yeah. I'm hoping that she can get on there before I gotta go help my mom do her nightly duties here.
I
Wish
was
I could
hoping
hear
I
that.
didn't have to download an app and sign up and
Oh,
everything.
you didn't, and so
Nope.
that's good. Yeah. Well, I have. I guess the first few times that I went on people's shows with this app, I didn't
It's okay.
I just didn't click the links and all that crap like that. Then eventually I got a free account, and that's what I'm using is the free
Oh,
account.
yeah.
Yeah, and so I can have up to like I think 6 people on, and I have on next Tuesday I'm going to be having 4 people on, plus with me, maybe 3 people with me or 4 people with me, and we're going to be doing arts and crafts and stuff, and go back to kindergarten and like get the noodles out and the glue and do some noodle glue art,
Yeah.
some arts and crafts like back in kindergarten, make some Christmas things. Yeah. So, and do you have any other now Angie here, I'm going to read her comment because she has wanted to talk about her ghost story that she has had. And so her ghost story was, and while she says most of the people on earth will absolutely not believe what my story is, so I won't scare you. And what else did she say here? You're commenting on the ghost story question. Yeah, I'd like to hear it. So maybe she'd like to come on.
I don't think any stories will scare me after I went through what I went through.
Oh, yeah. So do you have a scary ghost story? Yes or no?
You talking to me?
Yeah, that's the only one that's here.
Oh. No, not really.
They weren't all pleasant ghost stories. They weren't scary ghost stories.
They were just scary at that time, but talking about it now is like whatever. But yeah, they are true though. I do believe stuff happen because they happen to us.
Yeah. Well, it is scary to see ghosts and so forth. I mean, it is scary.
Yeah.
Angie did say something. She said, "Okay, go ahead."
Sorry, go ahead.
So you have another thought here, don't you?
You say Angie or somebody said?
She has in a comment. Okay, so 99%, 99.9. Hershey. She talked about her aliens, albino aliens. Albino aliens. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
Cannot say anything about aliens in front of my youngest nephew. He believes in aliens.
Nothing about aliens on the show. Yeah.
My nephew believes in aliens.
Yeah. My mom
Oh,
saw
Bigfoot. He likes Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. Well, I don't know, but I've seen big cats, but I haven't seen Bigfoot. Seen a big cat. I mean, like a 100-pound cat. One of those kind of cats that were like can run 45 miles an hour and tear you to shreds, And mountain lion's cat. So what does Angie here say in the chat? And wait, let's go put the comments in order, and I will read the comment. Okay, there's no way in hell y'all would be able to believe it. 999. Hershey shuttle reader. Ask her. I guess I am utterly, literally an alien. I always knew that. I always knew that. Besides just being an albino alien, so Angie is an albino alien. Then the type of albinism I have, whether neither parents or ancestral signs have the albino gene, it is an utter abnormality. No one on earth has this. I also have what they called an alien gene. So she has alien genes. That's interesting. What does that mean, Angie? So maybe Angie, you can figure out how to come if you have you don't have to show your face. You can there is an option to turn the camera off if you want to, and then you can come on in and tell your alien ghost story while I help my mother get to sleep. And
The devil used to bother me.
the devil used to bother you. Did the devil hide under your bed or in the closet?
No.
No.
No, not not like that.
Yeah. So how did the
When I used
uh
to see it, it would like disappear right away. The same thing.
hmm,
It would disappear, but you still see like black smoke. You wouldn't smell anything or nothing. You would just see the black smoke a little bit. It looked like the black pig with the like a black pig with the horns.
yeah.
It wasn't big. It was small. It wasn't like that big.
Mm-hmm.
I could say it was more like a raccoon size, maybe. Maybe a little bit bigger.
Hmm.
But yeah, it looked more like a black pig with the horns. You used to see it a lot. It used to appear a lot because it wanted me. It wanted something. And I used to move around a lot until it finally stopped. I don't know if it stopped. It really stopped bothering me or just lost me throughout the moving I had done. But yeah, it used to
Okay.
bother me.
Well, I'm gonna try something else here. I wonder if I can do it this way. We're gonna try something here, and if my sister is there listening, I'm gonna try and get this and copy a link and run it right into. Let's try this. So, Anne, if you're listening, I sent you a link right to your text, and I want you to push on that link and see if it works. So if you're there, so there's been a lot of crazy situations in which I shouldn't have survived or I should have seriously been injured and didn't happen. I had figured out why is that word being covered up by the okay. I had figured out that it was because of a ghost, Nyles. The ghost was Niles, like Niles Crane from the TV show Frasier Crane. So you got your little dog there. Oh, look, cute dog. Yeah, yeah. All right. Well, so anyway, so this is the second time we've tried this type of a show, and we are. It'll probably take me a little while to figure it out. I'm sure and certain of it. And so yeah, so you had the ghosts that you've seen, so that's kind of interesting. And then, um, and so how many years ago was it that you saw these ghosts?
Oh wow.
A long time ago.
Yeah, it's been
Years and
years.
years and years. Yeah. Hmm. Do you see any ghosts or anything recently, or is it just
No,
nothing?
nothing.
Hmm. Yeah. So Angie says he was
And
the
the way I'm
caretaker.
like kind of trying to remember how to do it.
I see.
Mhm. Yeah.
Because it's been so long, and you just sort of, yeah, okay.
But
Let's
I
see.
know
Andrew
I
said,
hated it though at that time when I was small. Because you
mm-hmm,
could feel it like the way I used to be, I could feel it when I used to go like someplace and there was too many ghosts there for me.
mm,
I I was able to feel it. And if I didn't like the feeling, I
yeah,
couldn't go in the place or something. Like for example, in a hospital, I would get like this feeling, and I don't know, kind of like when your nerves are hurting you or something. Hey, you did
yeah.
it.
I
She
did
made
it.
it. She
I
made it.
had to go in and set up Streamline in the app. Uh,
I see.
uh, oh my gosh, I have a great hospital story.
She has a great story. So
Oh,
while
wonderful hospital one. I
so
and it,
you need to speak up, Ann.
can you hear me at all?
I hear
Got
you.
to be a little bit.
Can you hear me? Oh, and I also have a dog that's angry. Can you hold 1 second while I
Yeah.
try to get her up? Thanks.
Let me
Okay.
know when to let go.
Yeah. So Niles died the day that I met him, and said that the reason he passed that day was because he and I are the ones that can heal and return back to heal the land and return back to sacred hell. Oh, that sounds like a beautiful story. So she popped back out. So she popped back in. Oh, and then Angie also said the caretaker of the Indian decor is Peak in South Indian Burial Mound, and I met him. This guy for 3 seconds, asked him for permission to go on the property to climb the peak, and he died that day. Wow, that seems kind of all right. No, she tries to come back in again. All
Dan,
right, so here you are.
yes.
Okay,
Let me know when I can tell my story at
why
the
don't you tell your
hospital.
why don't you tell the story right now? And I'm gonna step away, and I'm gonna go take care of and with some of the things that mother needs to do before she goes to bed. And so
Okay.
I'm gonna mute my mic, and I'll be right back.
Okay. Let me know. Am I on for telling the story? Okay.
Yeah.
My career, I'm started as a sleep technologist. And what a sleep technologist does is they do sleep studies for patients with obstructive sleep apnea at night.
That's what I was gonna ask.
Yes, yes. So basically, like if somebody is snoring, stops breathing at night, it kind of sounds like maybe everyone's heard that, kind of sound when someone's snoring really loudly, then stop breathing. Well, I got a job working in this lab, and I would start like at 7 o'clock at night and hook patients up with all these electrodes on top of
Wow.
their head. Yes, and I would have two patients and then one technologist. And I was in a big hospital, and this was new, the sleep, when in the 90s. Okay, and we were working and we were on the top floor of this hospital because they went, where were they going to put the sleep lab? They put on the top floor. And my friend, I think it was Ken, and I were working, we were two sleep technologists working the night shift. And when you work the night shift with somebody at night, you get pretty, you get tight, you talk about all kinds of things, and even like, ghosts and so forth come up. But we would also spell each other. So we would have the patients. I'd have two patients, and those patients would be hooked up to all of these electrodes. We could see their breathing, their EKG, their heart rhythms, their movements, when they would stop breathing and start breathing. And to take a break, I would have to have my partner, he would have to watch all four patients. Well, this one night, I was just, and I know I was exhausted, but I was awake. And I felt this calling to go down to the end of, walk down the hospital hallway, kind of stay up at night. It was coffee and walking. So I walked down the hallway and I look in this room, and all the rooms up there except my sleep patients' rooms are supposed to be empty. And I look in there, and there was this nurse, and she was standing at the window. And at first I thought, oh, what's a nurse doing up here? But this nurse was dressed in a white dress, okay? And with the belt and the hat and the shoes. And I thought to myself, and now we're talking about a time when nurses didn't remember the outfits that nurses used to wear? This is probably the 1960s.
With the hat
Well,
and everything.
I never, this is why you never saw this. And so the nurse was there, and then she just turned and looked at me, and then um, started to come through and didn't use the door, but walked towards me, but walked through the wall. And I went, oh my goodness, this is not this is a nurse like my aunt would explain. My aunt was a nurse in the 1960s, and they had to wear like say stewardesses had to be all dressed up when they did the plane. Well, the nurses were all dressed up in these nursing outfits, and I at first, I was so tired, but I'm looking and I go, this nurse just looked at me, and I stared at her. I wasn't afraid. And then I realized this nurse was not of this time. She was of a different time. And, so I kind of started to feel things when I was working up there in that, s- i- the upstairs. In that we were alone, basically, the two of us, and then the patient sleeping at nighttime. And so that just came to my mind. And it was just so crazy because the nurse looked like she belonged in at a different time, and she looked at me, but then she looked like she was almost looking through me, and that's the part that really, it just to this day kind of haunts me. um but there were a number of things that occurred up in the sleep lab, and I sometimes would think, well, is it because I'm so sleep deprived? But then I started to trust my gut, and I knew it was more than that, because I would be walking down the hall and I would feel things like behind me, and I just started to trust myself at that time. And I had numbers of experiences. My very first experience, I was 7, probably between the age of 5 and 7. I was in the house where my brother is right now, and I was sleeping with my grandmother. And I woke up and kind of looked at the edge of my bed, and there was this like a beautiful form, almost like angelic form, that was kind of looking at me. And I knew I wasn't really scared because my grandmother that was there, but I knew that it was, something that was not like of this world. And
Mhm.
I didn't talk a lot about it at that time. It was just something that I knew could happen.
Mm.
And then as I got older, more and more things would happen. Like, let's see, there was a ghost hotel in Oregon. I won't say the name of it.
Ghost
A
hotel.
ve- yeah, a ghost hotel. That's a very famous ghost hotel. And again, I was on my work. My daughter and I would go down to this town in the coast, the Oregon coast. And we would stay at this hotel. I would work for a doctor who would go down and do sleep studies there. Well, when I went down there, he set me up with this hotel because it'd been in his family. It used to be a place where they actually did uh, hospital work, surgeries, things like that.
And
And I didn't.
there was a morgue in the basement.
Yes, yes, it was a morgue in the basement, and I did not know that until I had a dream. And I know I'm flashing around, but I actually had a dream, and I don't know if it was a dream or if it was actually happening, but I could see people that they looked like it could be like wartime, and there was like a morgue, like there was bodies being worked on in the basement, and there were people like in the outfits of wartime, but more like civil, old time war, so maybe World War I type versus
Hmm.
what we would be more used to. But going back to this ghost hotel, one of the first things that happened, and I even brought my mother down with me. Remember, Bill, Mom came down
Yeah,
to
yeah.
spend the night, and
Yes.
the doorknob. What was we did not we locked the door before the bed, We went to bed in the room. It was an old room. And a couple of things happened that was strange. The door, when we woke up in the morning, the door was opened. And we did not open that. And my mom noticed that too. She's like, this door is opened. And then another thing was the bathroom. The shower and so forth would turn on its own. I mean, little things like that. But we could hear stomping, like stomp, stomp, stomp outside the door, like back and forth. And it would be like, is there somebody there? But there wasn't anybody there when we would like open the door to look out from the sounds. And there was a lot of really crazy times because I'd go down like once a week, and then when we stayed there, something different happened, like every time we stayed there. And my dreams were so vivid too, just incredibly vivid dreams when I was there. And there was a one room that was scary because it almost like the doorknob was hot, so we didn't touch it. We could just feel something off in that area. Oh, sorry, there goes my little doggies. I oh, I was worried this could happen. Sorry, my creatures. But it was really interesting that our time in this hotel. But the last time I stayed at the hotel was the most vivid situation occurred. I was supposed to stay at the doctor's home because he would invite me to stay there, and as we stayed longer, I'd stay at his house. But I went to his home. The door was locked. All the lights were on, and I just had a discussion with him about staying. And then I thought, we are like 2.5 hours away from home. What are we going to do? And then my daughter was with. She goes, "Well, we call the ghost hotel." Well, I called the hotel, and the person who picked up goes, "I was waiting for your call." And I go, "What do you mean you're waiting for my call?" I said, I need a room, please." And he's, "Yes, there's one room left." So we went there. We went up. We got a room and went to our room. And that's when the really odd things started happening. There was, we were trying to go to sleep, and there was this candle, and the candle had like a half an inch of like a wick and burning left. But so we lit and it was still burning. I mean, the thing is, this candle burned, to jump forward, all night long. It never went out. And during the night, someone knocked at our door, and the man that knocked at our door was white, the paleness of him, and he called to give me a message about electrical workers, and I don't know why. And outside there was a piano, and then a place where people would play, and he was talking about things that I didn't know about, and so I just listened to him. But when I looked at his face, he didn't look right at all. And so, I mean, we were used to these odd things happening at this ghost hotel. And but the strangest part is my daughter said that, she that night she was worried about me. She goes, "Mom, you just weren't breathing right." She goes, "I didn't know if you were gonna make it through the night, after I finally fell asleep." But we kept up. When we would wake, at night, we would see this candle. And it like never it just continued on, even though there was no like wax or hardly any wax in there. And did I ever tell you that one, Bill? It was just so odd. But I will jump forward to how this hotel fits into the life, because I have a granddaughter, Emma, and it was, oh well, about 3 months ago, I believe. She can draw things. I mean, a beautiful artist, and she started to talk about something, and she started to talk about a hotel. She goes, "I was at this hotel." And they go, "Oh, okay." And then I will encourage her to tell me. I said, "Tell me about it." She goes, "Well, when you walk in, there is like a trumpet, a big thing, like the music box trumpet thing." And I started to get shivers. And I go, "Okay, tell me more." And she goes, "And there was this couch." And she drew the couch out. And then I realized she was talking about the same hotel. But the part that got to me, she goes, and down in the basement, she goes, that's where they put the dead people. And
Hmm.
I thought to myself, what year was this? She was born in 2017, and I was down there with her mom in 2014 and 15. And
Mm.
I had never talked to her about our experience at the Ghost Hotel. Her first 4 years were spent with cancer, stage 4 cancer treatments. And one of the things that happened during this time is they would put her out many times, like under anesthesia. One time she was out and she came back and she started to talk about my dad, who she had never met because he died in 2012 and she was born in 2017. And I had a grandpa was there holding my hand.
Hmm.
And yeah, yeah. And
Hmm.
she had never seen grandpa. And the only time she saw a picture of him, that there's the picture of mom and dad in our house, and that's their marriage picture. Well, she saw that picture. She points at the man. Granted, dad was young in his 20s, and she goes, "That was him." She goes, "But who's
Hmm.
that?" And I go, "That's Gigi. That's my mom. That's our mom." She didn't recognize my mom, but she recognized my dad. But my dad was very, very young.
Hmm.
And we're talking a long time before. There was that gap. She's born in 2017. These things are happening in 2012 and 2015.
You said
And
2014 and 2015, but
yeah, that I believe those were the times we were down because dad passed in 12. Then we started going down to that hotel down at the coast
maybe that
and
was like the
working.
very next year, 2013, because I remember one of those times where
Uh-huh.
you had come back and you'd forgotten your purse
Yes.
down, and then I think I was on one of my days off from the casino,
Yeah.
and I drove down there to pick it up,
Oh,
and
that's right. It was
I
probably was
drove,
13. Mm-hmm.
yeah. So and I drove, and I think I was probably, yeah, that was before I went to the front side of the casino where all the money was at. So that was, I think, when I was working in the buffet,
Yeah.
and or something like that. And so I remember taking a fast drive down on one of my days off or
To get the
whatever it
purse.
was, and then to go pick up your purse. Yeah.
Did
But
did did was there anything that happened when you were down there? I mean, it's
no,
just
no, because
okay.
you were at a restaurant,
That
and it was like
was
and so it was just a little bit like north of Tillamook where I had to go. I drove all the
yes,
way up, and that was like a like almost like a 90-minute drive to go.
yes. No,
And
yep, it was.
yeah, and I think I made it back just after dark, but because you'd come by and you would it, you know, it'd come by and it was
I had forgotten
probably
my purse.
4 o'clock in the afternoon or whatever.
Hmm.
Somehow, and I just flew on. I took a flying drive up there and then picked it up and brought it back. Yeah,
No, and
yeah,
and there I had so many memories. But the thing with Emma, I was like, she just she was so sure of herself. And then it got more interesting. We went to our family reunion and our cousin, the on my dad's side, his only sister has one son, and he's a I call him a ghost hunter. That's he and his
yeah.
wife is a medium, and I explained this to him because he did some research down at this hotel. It's a very famous Oregon hotel, and he called this and. You know that trumpet thing, Bill, I was talking about? There's
Yes,
a name for
it's
that.
it's a
What's the name?
phonograph.
Yes, as you
It's an
walk
old
in,
phonograph.
it sits right there. I mean, I
Hmm.
and then the couch was very much the couch like with the buttons, the old fashioned buttons that go in there. She described that. Emma did. And she'd never
Buttons on the
been there.
couch.
Yeah, you know what? You know like Grandma Elsie's old couch? You know how they have the pleats and when they were sewn in?
Oh, buttons. Well, I was thinking like buttons you push, like electric
Oh no,
buttons,
no,
but no,
no.
these are the
Old
button
fashioned
the
couch.
buttons. I got you. They're
Yes,
buttons.
yes.
They're like literally buttons, like you're buttoning. Okay, I got it. Oh yeah.
Oh my
All
god!
right, I
And then
get you. I
the
get you.
carpet, the color of the carpet, this old fashioned carpet too. And see,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things like would come to my memory. They're not as clear, but when she said that, I was like, wow, how did she see this? And
Hmm.
it was just so I think something happens like when you go through cancer treatment and you face death so closely, which she did.
Yeah.
She had like a
Oh, and
20% chance of
she's a
living.
child, yeah, and
Well,
as
she
a
was
child
born,
too.
yeah, 4 years of that. And then it was, yeah, there was no way. We didn't, her mom and I we don't talk about
Yeah.
that. And even if we did, I wouldn't go into detail about, that uh, trumpet, that, yeah, my brain's going, I'm getting tired. But it was really, really
Yeah.
interesting. But lots of little stories. But one of the things that's been happening lately is my daughter's fiance. He just passed away in a severe car accident, a head-on collision,
Yes.
and then two others passed. Well,
Yeah.
um, he comes. He's a strong spirit, and he comes in the form of smoke to visit. He was just
Hmm.
here a little while ago, and it looks like at first we were thinking because my daughter likes to vape, and she goes, but she goes, it stays. It'll stay like a half hour, and this like like smoke, like if old fashioned cigarette smoke, if you would blow that, because I used to indulge in a cigarette when I was younger, and the smoke would go out, but then it would dissipate. But this kind of stays, and it kind of makes a shape, and it's kind
I'll
of
be
I think
right
how
back.
he's coming through. And I don't want to take up Maria's time for talking. Are we boring you? But
No.
and so it was really interesting. And my daughter was at a hotel. We were talking, and it was one night. It was about 2 in the morning. We both wake up and go to the phone, and she goes, "Mom, he's here again." And I go, "Okay." And she was away on business trip, and I had her daughter, and she goes, "I just asked him to," she goes, "there's like a light like in the hotel room that was like, I don't know if it was the firelight, like a when but she goes, a blinking light." She goes, "I asked the light to blink once, you know, if because it would, no, it would blink. It would do like blink, blink." She goes, "Asked it to blink twice if he was here." And she said that it blinked two times for her, but it took about 2 minutes after she had asked that. But she goes, the weird part was then she called me back again, and she goes, "He turned the shower on." And I go, "What do you mean turn the shower on?" She goes, "Mom, there was no shower on." And I go in and the shower is going full blast. I mean, I know those things sound like insignificant, but when you're not turning the shower on, you start to think about things like that. And the significance was that before he passed away with the shower, um, he went into her home, and I think I was the last person to talk to him before he drove. He took a shower, and so when she came back to their house the next day, and she didn't know he had passed, she came in, and that was all wet, and she goes, "He even took a shower, Mom." And she goes, "But I can't get a hold of him." But he had died that night about 5 in the morning. He'd on a head-on collision,
Hmm.
and it was just little clues, little tiny clues that sometimes people have, I think. And I think we all
Let's
have some ability to do that.
let's see
Okay,
if I can pull.
talk to
Hold on. Don't leave yet.
Mhm.
Don't leave yet.
Okay.
Just hang out there. So I do remember, Maria, you talked a little bit about seeing a ghost in smoke, or that was your nephew who saw a ghost in snow as smoke.
The devil.
Several?
Several
The
as
devil.
smoke. Yeah, because the devil. You saw the devil like
Oh,
smoke.
Yeah.
that's cool.
It
Oh,
leaves
wow.
smoke when it disappears.
Okay,
Like
what
black
happened?
smoke. You don't smell it or nothing, but you just see it.
Oh,
Hmm.
wow. Uh, so you could see the smoke come and it was black and then disappear?
No,
Uh-huh.
when the devil disappears, it leaves black smoke.
Oh,
Like
interesting.
kind of like an aftertaste, like
Uh-huh.
or like when you light something and then you turn it off, like a match when you turn it off, how it leaves smoke, black
Yeah.
smoke. Like
Yes.
kind of like that. But you don't
Oh,
smell it
yeah.
or nothing, though. It doesn't bother you. You just see it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how this one doesn't smell like smoke. It's just the perception of the hazy, and this is like a white smoke, or it's just really different. Yeah. I
You
have so
know,
many questions.
Yeah,
when
when you said that, when you were saying something about the ghost walking through the wall, I was like, ghost don't walk through the wall. I'm like, wait a minute. But I see dad coming and everything. So yeah, they.
Well,
Mhm.
yes, and yeah, I that's how I perceive it because I was at the door. Okay, it's a hospital room, and then she was there by the window, and then she came through. But then it was like I was at the door, but I mean, obviously I couldn't see, once you go through, but it was just like felt like it was moving through instead of using the door. Do you see what I'm
He's
saying?
like just looking out the window.
Yeah, she was kind of looking out the window. I was because I saw somebody in the room, and I thought this is odd. There shouldn't be anyone else up here. It's just my my other technologist and myself, and then the patients. But I walked into an area, there were supposed to be just empty rooms, and there was this lady, and obviously nurse, in the white outfit. If you ever get a chance, Google old nursing outfits, like what they might have been, 1960s or so,
Yeah.
and even the white shoes. And I was like, but at first I thought it was normal, and then I went, wait a minute, this is in the late 90s. It's not normal. We were wearing scrubs, and she didn't talk to me. Just looked. I just had looked at her, and then coming through, and it was like she didn't use the door. It was just like it felt like she kind of disappeared into the wall. Just I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh,
Do you see what
okay.
I'm saying? And not walk through. I couldn't see that. Like coming through. So when I left, I just saw like that, or maybe that's just where the vision stops. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what it. I didn't see her come through the door.
Never seen nothing like that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't
Mm.
know.
But see,
Not
I
like
didn't.
that.
It was just
Mm.
it was so different. And even for me, it was just so different. It was like, oh gosh. And so I went back to my friend and told him, and he was like, he did what happened? So he had to go down there and look. He didn't see, anybody. And that sometimes I thought I was crazy because I was up all night long, and for 3 nights in a row I'd work all night, and so I was so tired. And then I had 6 children, so lots of babies to take care of and so forth. So always sleep deprived myself. So I
mhm.
thought, am I seeing things? But it was
Well, you
kind of
could have
such a
been,
good.
but you never know. And
I
but
know, I know.
when Tim died,
Uh huh.
he came and visited me a couple times.
That's what you were saying. Yeah.
And so I remember I was filming a video for one of my decks that I
Hmm.
picked up around that time. And then
Yeah.
when I went and reviewed the video, there
Uh
was
huh.
another voice that was present on the video footage, and I figured it was his voice. And I was like trying to find it, but I think I'm gonna have to go back in and look and see if I have that footage, and then to go back in and replay it. You might even actually be able to hear. There was my voice, and then there was another voice on top of it, and it was sounded really really harsh, like a harsh voice. But then
Yeah.
also I did smell like smoke,
Did
because
you?
he I
He loved to
smelled smoke.
he loved to smoke.
Well, I wasn't thinking that it was cigarette smoke. It was like plastic, burning plastic like smoke.
Well, he would vape, and I don't know what that smells like,
Yeah,
but
but
maybe
he
it
but
was
he
something
died in
else.
a fiery car crash, didn't he?
Yes, the car burnt for like 2 hours. So yes, it just see. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. That you might smell that
Why
plasticky,
did a
awful
car?
smell.
Yeah. So and then
Oh, wow.
and then I guess it was then one more time he came and visited, and then he said, he said something, I don't remember what he said, but then I texted your daughter about what he wanted to say.
Yes.
I wonder if I can. I think if I move this off the screen here, I might be able to find that text that I sent your daughter, because
Yeah, I
to
want
see
to know
what
what
the message
was.
was. I need to go find. I'm sure because I don't.
Oh, did you text me about her too? I'm trying to
I don't
remember.
think so.
Oh, I'm glad you texted Elise. Yes.
I did, because the message was for Elise. It wasn't for you.
Yeah. No, of course not.
Um. How many messages are in here?
Hundreds.
Okay, here it is. It would be, yeah. No, it's not a. That's a group text. I don't want the group text. And let's
Oh,
see here.
I want to know what he said.
It was something like, maybe like, I'm sorry and that I love you, and
Well, do you know what was so odd with this one is sometimes things come to you and you don't know where it comes from because in the morning, my daughter, I said to my daughter, I go, Tim died. And she goes, no, he sent me she goes, I got this phone call, I think, and I don't know where it came from. Then I just ignored that part till we got the message that he actually had passed away. It was just like it came like so fast. That he loved her. Did you find it, Bill? Are you
I
guys still
think
on?
he froze.
It sounds like water.
yeah, it's probably her. It's her heater.
It's
Uh
my heater. It's loud.
oh. That's okay. That's okay.
It gets
So
really loud
essentially,
when it first kicks in, and then it quiets down a little bit until it stops.
It's
so
okay.
he said, "Tell Elise I love you, and I'm sorry that I left in such a violent manner.
Oh my goodness.
I am moving on soon, and also tell Emma that I love her."
Yes, he loved Emma.
That was what he said, and that was what I felt in my mind. I felt that in
Hmm.
my mind, and immediately I composed the text and I sent it to
Hmm.
her. And so
Wonderful.
I think that was like the first time that I got a message, an audible message, or not really. It wasn't an audible message. It was just a message. It was just these words
Hmm.
appeared in my mind,
Yeah.
and that happened another time,
Hmm.
and and it was
No,
after
hold on.
it was after yeah. Anyways,
Oh, that's what a gift.
yeah, I
That's
guess
such a
so.
gift. I know it is. I mean, I don't know if what I mean is a gift to with my daughter too.
Yes, it was a gift to
That's what I meant.
your
Okay, come here.
yeah, yeah. All
Wish I
right.
could calm the beast in this dog.
Well,
It's weird the
dogs
way
have.
things happen.
What was that, Maria?
I was saying it's weird the way things happen.
It
Yeah,
is.
yeah, it is. It is. I don't know why I move closer when I have earbuds in. I don't know. I moved closer to the phone and I can't hear any different because it's like yeah.
Closer to the phone, but you got earbuds.
Yeah. Yeah, well, not earplugs, just the I'm hearing the show through these earbuds, and then when I asked you to repeat yourself, I moved closer to the camera, but I can't hear any better that way. I mean, yeah, I can barely hear as it is, you know.
Me too.
Anyways,
Lay down, lay down. Lay down, lay down.
well, well, this is like my second time trying this format. I'm gonna try it again.
This is fun.
Keep trying it again here. So yeah.
Thanks for this. Is really a treat
Yeah.
to reminisce about old stories.
Yeah, and so you had like talking about that hotel, and yeah, and
Yes.
that lady who operated that
Owns
place
it.
was I don't know if she still does that anymore, but she was pretty weird.
No, I met somebody within the last year that, and it's so strange because the other thing I swear is we meet people that we're supposed to meet, okay, just randomly. So I was at a event. What kind of, no, this was before the funeral. So this was I'm trying to think. No, this was Jerry's funeral. Bill is where I met this gentleman
Oh,
from that.
Jerry, yeah. I
Yes,
can.
yes. Jerry just passed, and I was at his funeral, and the this I met this gentleman, and I felt compelled to talk to him. He was an older man,
Mm-hmm.
and for some reason we got on the topic of the Wheeler down the the old
Yeah, the
hotel,
hotel. Yeah,
and he goes, oh yes, he goes, I know them very well, and he talked about the lady, and it was the same lady that owns the hotel.
yeah.
And I remember Lisa and I going in and talking to her, and she said, "Be very respectful of the ghosts." She goes,
Mm-hmm.
"There are many ghosts here," and she goes, "She doesn't like to have people come like these ghost hunters, because the ghosts are friendly, very friendly ghosts." And she
Yeah,
was drawn to that. Her story was she was drawn to that hotel
yeah.
and
That's what.
wanted to stay. And so
Mm-hmm.
we had a number of little conversations with her, and
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and the ghosts in that room were just, it was thick feeling. It was a heavy
Mm-hmm.
thickness.
Yeah.
And, you know, and for my mom to say she could feel something, that's quite something for our mom who doesn't want to talk about stuff like that.
I hate
No,
that
that's true.
feeling.
But you hate what?
Y-
I hate that feeling when you know that something's there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. These days, I just say, please go away. You know, you
Hmm.
could, or like when with one of the times it was like, oh, can you please go away? Just come back tomorrow in the afternoon, please.
Well, why do they
I'm
have to
busy.
come at night?
I don't understand. It's because you're wide open at nighttime. That's why
Oh, that's
you
it.
can't. You're not. But you know when it was that other individual who mother knew, and I'm not going to mention any names,
Mm-hmm.
and he relayed these message to right after the funeral, and it was like it was beaming him right in my head, and it was like, tell your mother I'm sorry. And it was very
Oh,
adamant and insistent, and this was not at night. This was right in the middle of the afternoon. It was actually right after the funeral,
that was
and
right
because
after his funeral?
yeah, mom was like lamenting over the fact that the guy had bullied her when she was a kid, and
Oh, that one.
yeah,
Yes.
don't mention any
I'm
names,
not. Of course I won't.
and then and then he was just very adamant. Tell your mom
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. Tell your
Wow.
mom. Tell your mother I sorry that I hurt her. I didn't realize. And so what it kind of makes me think is that there's this whole sense of when they talk about the life reviews,
Yes, exactly.
and they talk about, and so I was thinking that maybe that whole Catholic notion of purgatory is that life review thing,
Mm-hmm.
and that you go through that life review process, and it's the process of purgation, of purifying and going through everything that
Good or
is a
bad.
problem for, and then you
Mm-hmm.
have to be either make amends or whatever you have to do, and at that moment, um he was making amends for that time of his life,
Yes,
and he
the
was going
boy.
through his purgatory and the purification.
Wow. Well, I know you probably think this is so strange, okay? But ever since I was a little girl, okay, it was like my Emma, like having a vision. I had this vision that there was a book of life, and that before I came into the earth, I chose like so I had this big book, chose my
Mm.
family, and um it could almost like I was looking at what was going to happen. And there was this book of life. But the weird thing is there was like a line behind me, waiting to get to the book of life. And
Mm.
yeah, no, I mean it's been with me, so not just since I was a little tiny girl, but from till now. And I don't
So you
share
had
it.
a had a
I haven't
dream.
told anybody. And it wasn't even a dream. It was a feeling, like I knew that, like when I was 3 years old, Bill.
I
And I
see.
knew that you would come. And then before I was born, I came this book of life. And but I couldn't tell you really what was on the book of life, if I chose my
Yeah, yeah.
husband or things I went through. But it was really interesting. But it was just like such a strong feeling
Hmm.
for it. I think
Well, I
maybe there's a journey involved.
I remember having a dream about a book, and it
Mm-hmm.
was in this middle of a room, and then there were these books that were there, and I got this distinct. There was a lot of books, but there was one that was a distinct sense that this book here was my life. That was my life. That what I was in right at this moment, and I think I was
Mm-hmm.
up in Seattle, and
Right.
I may have had fallen asleep in mass or something like that, which wasn't uncommon, or something like that, and I had that dream, or whatever, or maybe it was one of those times, and I was um that I was in the as that homeless shelter that I
Mm-hmm.
was working as a volunteer at, and maybe I had a dream, and I was my a volunteer job was a to supervise the homeless shelter that was the overflow shelter that they had at St.
Mm-hmm.
James Cathedral's church.
Sure.
And then I most of the times I didn't sleep because you slept on the floor. You had to
Mm-hmm.
help bring the people in, and then in the morning you made breakfast for them, and then you sent them out and sent them back out. And so that would be like sometimes a lot of times it'd be like on a work night. And so
Mm-hmm.
when I got done at 7 o'clock in the morning, it was like you didn't get much sleep, and then you just went to work right afterwards.
Oh
And that
my
was like
gosh.
once a month for like nine or almost like 7 months out of the year. It was the for winter
Wow.
time.
Yeah. And you saw the
And but I
book.
think some yeah, and one I think that was like one of the experiences of I saw this book,
And
and I got this.
you had the distinct feeling in the book. Who knows with the book, at that time, as I was a child, that's the only way I could describe that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hmm.
maybe now it's a computer. I don't know. Maybe it was just so interesting to like be able to choose things. But one thing throughout the journey of my life, if I like, how you get a feeling of choices, like if you go one direction or another direction. But
Mm-hmm.
every time like that I didn't listen to my gut feeling, that intuitive feeling, then
Yeah.
things would not always go right. Like if I pushed through that and made a choice that was opposite of what I thought where I was being directed, almost everything would go wrong.
Don't you
I
hate
see.
that?
Did
Yeah.
you have that too, Maria?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
So you be mad at yourself, be like, man, I should have listened to that.
yes, yes. I mean, I know I've shared this with my brother. Okay, I got married, and I got this feeling. I got like a stomach flu, okay, and sick right before the marriage, and then this feeling of walking down the aisle, and it must have just been, the weebie-jeebies of being scared, but I was just really, it was really odd. This message I got right before. It was almost to run, okay, and leave and
Mm,
not go walk down the aisle. But I pushed myself through and walked down the aisle to this new path. And my journey in this marriage has been so challenging. I don't know the right word for it. But it was like, I don't know if that was the direction I was supposed to do, or if I just felt like I had to push myself down there and keep pushing, like pushing through something that was of resistance. And there's
mm,
been so many challenges. Not, but
yeah,
maybe that's part of life. It's just the challenges that go on.
yeah. Well,
You
a
know.
couple of years ago, I had a dream about.
Hmm.
I had a dream about your husband, and it was like you were on an alternative timeline, and he was a nice person.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he was
Yeah, that
nice
was.
before I got married, and then he is like
Yeah.
Jekyll and Hyde,
Mm.
and just switch.
Well, I'm sure
And
that's pretty common. I don't know.
I don't know.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
it really formed my life because I wanted to be the ballet teacher and do arts and all of these things. But then when I realized I had to make a living because my husband drank so much that he couldn't even see straight. So I went back to college with 2.5 kids and became a respiratory therapist, 2 children, and one, then pregnant with the third one before I graduated. I had to have them induce the baby early so that I could finish the clinicals and be on my feet for 10 to 12 hours a day at like she was born the 26th of August and I was back in school in 1st of September
Mm.
doing clinicals. And so if not, I would have
Mm.
lost my place.
Yeah.
And yeah, and so many challenges. And I wondered if I would have listened, to that gut feeling, if there would have, if things would have been different.
Yeah. Who
But
knows?
that
Now
might
you
have
now
been
you
the,
don't know.
you don't know, but that might have just been the journey, the lessons I had to learn.
Yeah.
I'm
Mm,
learning
but
to listen to it
yes,
You're
learning
learning
the
to listen to it.
lessons.
Yeah.
Yeah, learning
again.
to listen in the lessons because I was
Mm.
stubborn.
Yeah. Well, who isn't stubborn? Yeah.
I
you know.
I can I mean I thought, oh, I can fix this situation. But then
Hmm.
when I saw one of my daughters go through something similar, I thought to myself, does this history repeat? I mean, oh my goodness.
Kind of
Well.
does.
It does, doesn't it? History
Well,
repeats.
you remember when we went to cousin Joelle's marriage, and that
Mhm.
one that was down on the Gorge Hotel, and where it was like an insanely expensive thing. I think it
Yes,
was like at that
yes.
time it was like $50,000 or something for the
Oh my
wedding, and
gosh. That was a lot for
whatever, and
them.
then 6 months later you find out that she'd walked out on her marriage, and I'm thinking, you know, I think eventually she's just stayed alone, and that was like their best
Mhm.
choice.
Did things that she needed to do in her life. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that, the big boat and all that stuff. And in this
yeah,
world, it's not about all this stuff. It is about the relationships that you have and build and the
hmm,
love. And for
yeah,
animals and for me, for animals and people and kindness. And I was
yeah.
thinking about when how you first started this with like the perceptions, of
Or the
having
perceptions, yeah, there is that, and
perception,
then,
of having to dress all these things. I mean, I'd be happy to be like I am now with my pajamas on and
hmm,
my hair barely combed. I mean, it's
hmm,
just I really uh, having to dress a certain way, and the way I got through that is when I was studying ballet, and that's what I loved. When you go on stage, you become a different character. So I would think of it that way, and I had this old ballet teacher with a cane, and she would be hitting the cane, and she would come across and smack us if we didn't listen correctly in the ballet class. And if we were late, we would be in trouble. So we had to come in early. And she gave this advice, which was one of the best advice I ever had. She said, when you come into the studio, she goes, I don't care what's happening in your life. She goes, you have a visual garbage can and you dump all of that. Anything in your mind, or you might be fighting with your boyfriend or something, I was 15. So, that's out of a 15-year-old's life. And then she would teach us to get rid of all that, dump it, so that when we walked in, our mind would be clear and we could concentrate and we could dance and perform and do our job. And it helped me with so much of my life, because when I was going to school, and with 3 kids, basically, yeah, 2 and then pregnant, and having to study and then deal with a lot of very difficult stress at home. And that's what I had to do, was I had to dump the stress so that I could pass and graduate through. I graduated valedictorian. I have no idea how, but I dumped it all, and then I would concentrate and study and did the task at hand. And that was the only way. And I used that. I wish I would have taught it to my kids, instead of
Well,
hauling all this garbage with us.
maybe you were, because you were kind of like our father, who could thrive in situations of chaos, whereas I
Exactly.
cannot.
Yeah.
You can handle the chaos and I cannot handle the chaos. And then,
Mm-hmm.
and in some of your kids, they can't handle the chaos,
No.
or you kind of shut down or something like that. And then the
Mm-hmm.
chaos just causes you to shut down. For you, it wasn't that way. You were able to push through the chaos. And,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah.
I know, you're right. I didn't think about that, because I was able to, like, go on a stage and do a solo dance or something, where other people be sweating and all tense, and like, oh, I'd be scared to go out there, but then I could thrive in that
Mm-hmm.
situation, and
Yeah.
be able to. I was more alive and more myself when I was dancing on a stage than
Yeah.
in real life. It was the most, and it was so exhilarating and so beautiful to be able to express an art form.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I had to envision things, especially if things were painful for me to go through.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
but you're right. I thrived in chaos, and honestly, when things weren't chaotic, I thought things were bad. I didn't know how to thrive in non-chaotic situations. I don't know if that makes any sense, because now that I don't have the business, life is a lot slower, and things are slowing down, and I don't. It's hard for me to, to cope,
Mm-hmm.
not having the the stress on me of all these different financial things, and then dealing with all these business decisions, and now not having that. I've never had a time in my life where I didn't have like lots of heavy responsibility. I don't know if that makes sense. And so, I've been trying to do I I rehab like my handbags and make some jewelry and little things like that, to keep myself, my mind and keep myself busy.
Yeah.
And so I don't have to think about being over 50 and trying to fit in anymore. Oh
Yeah.
my
Well,
gosh.
yeah.
It's okay,
Yeah.
Coco.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking when you were talking about those ballet days, I don't know if we talk about this here on the open air like this, but it was, we're the only ones that are here anyway. And,
Yeah.
but it was when, um, you were a little bit older, and
Mm-hmm.
our, and you went in there, and R and I went on a joy ride while you were in your ballet classes, and we got pulled over by a cop about a mile away from the ballet studio, and the
Uh-huh.
cop loaded us up in the back of the car and took us in, and then they interrupted the ballet class, and they said, "Do you know these people? You know these boys?"
Oh,
And then, did you know that they were driving your car while you were in here in this
no.
ballet class? And then, whatever you said, but then, they just released us,
Yes.
and then
Uh,
but we had to
uh,
go walk a mile back after your ballet classes. You had to walk a mile back to where your car was at to go, to go home.
yes. Well, do you
But
remember those days? You could walk into
yeah,
a small store. I thought, if I put a fur coat on and buy a six-pack of beer.
yeah. Well, you could
I'm not
if you
kidding.
looked like you're, but you pushed me in front, tried to do that one time, and they looked at you. Nah, I don't think so. You know.
We'd walk in there, and I thought, oh, if I put the high heels on and the fuzzy coat, we'll be able to get through this.
Yeah, yeah. But that was
I'm
in the
sure it
days too,
was.
and then I nothing came of that. That stuff never went on my record because I just
I
had like
don't
a
know that.
driver. I had just a driver's permit at that time, and then the
Well,
other guy,
that's all.
the
Art
guy who
didn't
was
even have a. He didn't even have a
he
driver's
didn't have a
permit. He was
driver's license. He was like 14. He was
yeah,
14, and
driving.
then
Oh yes.
and then he got a ticket for running a stop sign, and so he just paid. He just sent the money in.
Yes.
He just sent the entire amount of money in, and
Uh-huh.
and then it never went on his record.
No.
He got his driver's permit when he turned 15. He got his driver's
Mhm.
license when he turned 16.
And joined the
And then
army
when
when he was
he was like,
17.
that's right, when he was 17, in
Joined the
between
army.
junior and senior in high school, he joins the
Hmm.
National Guard, and he goes to boot camp. And then when he finishes, graduate from high school, at the end of the summer, he goes into the regular army, and then he was in there for 20 years. And but that never, that was like in this today's day and age, you would
You'd be thrown
get
in jail.
hammered. Yeah,
Oh,
your life would be pretty much ruined for
it would be
for
ruined.
that, and it completely ruined for
Well, do
having
you
a,
remember the time
right.
we were driving 90 miles an hour down that road, passing everybody?
Oh yeah,
And
that was his cousin, or his uncle, who was y- you know
and
his
pulled us
uncle, and
over.
he was my age. And then he kind of, yeah, he drove 90 miles an hour, and he passed 10 cars. And then the last car packed, that car he
The cop.
passed, that was the cop. And but then he had been on leave from, he'd been in the service, and he'd come
Yes.
home, and somehow I think he BS'd his way out of the ticket.
He did. He said he started talking like I don't know, military talk or something. And
Yeah,
I've never
yeah.
heard anything like this. And then with the cop, and then next thing you know, I mean, no driver's license. I'm pretty sure he didn't have one.
Well, no, he
He,
had a driver's license.
well, okay, I was thinking of the other one. Okay, but I don't know how we got through that. No, no ticket, nothing.
That's right. And I was in the back seat of the car, and I was intoxicated, and I was like
Well,
rolling around like
oh
I was and I was like rolling around like
yeah.
an idiot, and
Well, there was empty, but there's empty cans on the floor of the
yeah,
car.
I know. I mean, that was like that was in the 80s, and then yeah, look at the pretty dog. But then everything changed, and everything
Oh my
changed, and
God. It was a
and
beautiful
our
dog.
yeah,
It did
it,
change. It did change. But
it's
those life experiences, they still make me laugh.
yeah,
Look at that baby. So cute. Oh my
yeah.
gosh.
Tired.
Everybody's got
No.
their dog.
And the big one right here. That's the one that's barking all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, she's
He's
beautiful. Your
always
dog.
working.
Is he
Hmm.
bark? Your dog's beautiful.
Thank you.
So beautiful. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Hmm.
So if
Hopefully
you're
no one
just
else watches the
listening in,
video
if you're
though.
just listening, this is real talk. We're just having this real talk. This is just
Reminiscing.
a few random people talking about random crap that happened in the past, you know. Anyways, I think we're gonna call this a night here, and I'll try this.
Before you call it a night, we're talking about random things that happened in the past. How would we talk about random things that happen in the future? Maybe
Well,
that's
we could
another
put,
show.
yeah, another show. And
Okay,
so
sounds
if I
good.
when
There
I
was
push the
something
in, oh, you want? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
sorry.
It's all
There was
right.
something I forgot to mention. It keeps popping up in my mind, but I keep forgetting every
Uh-huh.
time we're talking. Talking about ghosts. One
Uh-huh.
time when I was working, because I used to work in the assembly line, and we were
Okay.
at the table. I was at a table working in the line,
Uh-huh.
and then a coworker that was on this side, she was on this side of me. Her name was Alicia.
Mm-hmm.
Had because we had me and her, we had seen a guy dressed in white, in a white
Oh.
suit, all in white. Even that hat, a old fashioned, like a whole old
Yeah.
fashioned top hat.
Uh-huh.
It was like kind of not too big, but it looked nice. I would say it
Yes.
looked really, really nice on him.
Uh-huh.
He had went all the way to the back, to the table in the back by the back wall, because all the tables were against the walls. We
Yes.
were like an assembly line. So he had one in the cell. We used to call it the cell, like cell 62, whatever. He
Yes.
had walked in the cell and he had went straight to the back to where my other coworker was at. She was one of my mom's best friends.
Uh-huh.
Um, Me and Alicia saw that guy go straight to Patty. Her name was Patricia, but we called her Patty.
Uh-huh.
He had went straight to Patty and he was watching over her shoulder and like trying to see what was she doing.
Really?
And me and Alicia thought he just worked there. He was one of the bigger bosses or something because
Yeah.
they keep walking around the floor. They don't leave till like 6:30.
Mm-hmm.
So we just thought it was one of those people, and it was almost time for us to go to break. Then when the bell rang, right before the bell rang, she asked me, "You saw that guy, right?" Because we both saw that he went, looked over Patty's shoulder. He didn't see nothing, but then he looked at us, he looked at me, he smiled, but then he tried looking again, and then he stood there a little bit like looking at her like I adore you, that kind of look.
Really?
And
Mm.
Oh,
then,
wow.
like watching her, like seeing what she's doing and stuff like that, like checking how she's working. And then he
Yes.
just walked out. We just saw him walk out. That was it. Alicia asked
Mm.
me, "You saw him, right?" And I said,
Uh-huh.
"Yeah." The bell rang. I ran outside to smoke, like nothing. It was like whatever.
Yes.
She started talking to Patty and everything. And Patty had told her that it was her dad. He passed away and they had just buried him not that long ago.
Ah,
I
Wow.
didn't know
wow.
anything about that. And then after
Wow.
that, she used to talk to me and Alicia a lot, and Alicia used to talk to me a lot because she used to say that I had the same gift that she had. That we used to
Yes.
see
Mm.
people and everything. And that's how I know that when they come, we see them as normal people because
Uh-huh.
that's how we see them as too,
Mm.
like
Yeah.
normal people. You don't see
Normal
Yeah.
through them
people.
or nothing like that. They're just like you're seeing a normal person. You never know who you're seeing.
You don't
Mm.
know when they can be there. That's I mean, this is well. But first, I want to say, Maria, you have a beautiful aura. Bill, take a look at right around.
Well,
No, she
I
does.
can't. You know,
Can you
I
see?
have to. I have to interject. And my phone battery is just about ready to go.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So let's end the stream and we can talk about this another day. But just hang on and we're gonna go off the line and we're gonna go right backstage.
Okay,
just
and
hang
then
out here.
don't let me forget to tell the story about the woman that came in to check on Dad. After he passed away, that said he lived under the tree where Dad was buried. I'll tell that story another
Oh,
time.
we
Yeah,
can
that
tell
was a
that
good
story
one.
another time.
Yes,
And
another
anyway,
time.
so we're
You got
just,
to remind
I
me.
want to, okay, I
Thank
want
you,
to just
Maria.
say a message to people out there. So if you watch this on the playback, just leave 4 blue hearts in the comment section. If not, well, you didn't watch this far. So anyways, thank
And
you
subscribe to
everybody.
Bill's channel.
Thank you everybody for being here tonight. Thank you, Maria, and thank you, Anne. And then all you out there in the internet land, we'll see you all y'all later. Bye
Yep.
bye.
Bye.